because our deepest wounds often reveal our greatest purpose. Welcome to the Court of Connection. I am so excited for this guest today. Her name is Sam. Sam holds such a safe container. I met Sam in the rooms of Kundalini activation process. She's a facilitator, and there's just something so special about her. She's such a safe, beautiful energy that you just look at her and she has so much energetic depth, and like you can see beyond. And so I'm really excited to have you here, Sam, and really get to know you because I've only seen her in those spaces. So welcome to the Court of Connection. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks for being a mirror too. So everything that you've said, I just want to let you know you're mirroring.
So beautiful. Before we get started, tell me something that is bringing you joy currently in your life right now.
Sure. So I guess there's a lot of things. I find it sometimes hard to connect with the feeling of gratitude, and I've started to make it a practice to notice the little things every day. And one of the things that really, really bring me joy is... Oh gosh, I got nervous.
That's okay.
This is a beautiful, authentic space, so we are
here for it. We are here for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes some time to think about. I think that it's a little bit of a tough question to answer. I think that that's something that's come up for me, and at least in recent years, is tapping into the energy of gratitude. And sometimes it can be really hard to tap into that. And so for me, just noticing the little things. I could share something big or I could share something little. Something little would be just waking up with my dog Rufus and feeling his energy and all his love, and just feeling him in my just feeling him and connecting with him, knowing that, he's a senior dog.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that long, but just treasuring the precious moments we have together.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a terrier mix.
Oh my goodness. How long have you had him?
I've had him since he was 2 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's really, really precious. Yeah.
What would you say is a thing that's big that's bringing your life joy?
A thing that's big that's coming into my life recently is connecting to my voice. I recently did a plant medicine ceremony about 2 weeks ago, and something that I took away from the ceremony was I guess I'll start from the very beginning. You know how when we're little kids, we all have this thing that we're like, oh, this is so much fun. I love doing this. Whether it's a dream to be a creative, an artist, to dance, to sing, to act. Yes. But then somewhere along the way, either life or parents or upbringing tells us, hey, this is not lucrative. You're not very good at this. Maybe you should focus on something more useful, like maths and sciences. So in the ayahuasca ceremony, something that came through for me is reconnecting with the sound of my voice and not realizing, hey, oh my gosh, I would actually love to do more creative things, to speak more, to sing, to compose songs. And I'm blabbering off into a tangent, but
please. I'm here for it.
Okay. So I'm here for feel free to,
Oh, girl, we are hanging out. I'm enthralled already. Let's go.
Yeah. So something that came up during the ceremony was voice. I've activated voice and experienced my voice in CAP, but in the plant medicine ceremony, I don't know what happened, Danielle, but this really, really deep voice that seemed to come from the essence of my soul started to pour out of me. And I've never heard that sound from my being before. So just hearing it reconnected me to this, oh my gosh, I can actually connect to music, to sound. And I've grown up always thinking that I couldn't sing.
That's so beautiful. And I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, that's the adults of the world don't mean it. It's so unconscious, but it's like, oh, you have to work really hard to get there. That's, oh, I know you want to be an astronaut, but that's impossible, right? And we start to adopt these ideas, right? And make ourselves small. And, you know, they have no idea the impact that has on us as a society and us as adult people, right? To start to hear those messages where it's like, you can't do that. That's silly. That's just a dream, you know?
And you realize that it's just story. So I'm going to backtrack again to the ceremony because it was very different from any ceremony I'd ever taken. It was with a group of musicians. So they would play live music and they sang songs in English, medicine songs. And there was a part of the ceremony where the I don't know if I can say names, but I'm just going to say the guide, he asks one of the participants to stand in front of everyone. And he goes like, a little birdie told me that you could sing. And she's never done the plant medicines before. That was her first time. And she's also never sung before.
Wow.
So she just stood there, like you could feel the, you know, like she was frozen. Like, I don't know, and everyone's staring at her. And it was, the moment was like it stretched into eternity. The guide goes, okay, why don't you ask Aya or the medicine if she has a song for you? And then she goes quiet. And then she's like, she's not answering. So we were all watching her, and it's just a moment that stretched and stretched into eternity until one of the other participants stood beside her and goes like, can I assist? And she goes next to her, just they stand shoulder to shoulder, and she starts to hum. And then all of a sudden, she starts to, the other girl starts to channel this beautiful, beautiful soul song. It just comes through her, the melody, the words, just out of nowhere, she just starts to channel it. And it comes through, which just goes to show what the shaman was saying. He was saying that we all have stories that we tell ourselves about what we can and cannot do. And that's it. It's just it. It's story. As soon as the story dissolved, she tapped into that song she's never sung before, and it just channeled her.
Wow.
So relating that back to joy, in my experience that evening, I processed a lot of deep feelings of shame connected to my voice and wanting to sing. And in the kindest and nicest way, being told as I was, you know, loudly expressing what I thought was, oh my God, it connected to the sound of my soul voice, that I was actually super out of tune and being loud. And I wasn't conscious of it because, you know, we were under an influence of medicine. And when I heard that, it brought up this feeling of really deep shame, like bringing back childhood wounds of, you know, being told that you're not good enough, like this is too big of a dream for you. That collapse of internal shame and just freezing and feeling like I was getting smaller and smaller, and I just wanted to sink into a hole in the ground and disappear. I couldn't even cap, which in plant medicines, I naturally cap. I just froze there and I lay there frozen.
Wow.
And I had, in hindsight, that whole experience had to happen for me to bring up those feelings that were already inside of me, to go through it and then to transmute it. Because the very next day, when I was sitting by the river, okay, so backtrack, I know it's getting long, so just stop me.
Girl, no, this is great.
So I was laying there and I was frozen. And the ceremony goes on, and after that one girl starts to sing, the guide goes like, is there anybody else who wants to sing? So it's like popcorn, like random people start to say, oh, me, I want to sing. And they start to experience, you know, like song coming through, creativity, music. And I was still there frozen, dealing with, you know, shame. And I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? And I felt like he was talking in general to like, it felt like it was directed to me. I'm sure it was to the group, but he goes like, because he was very intuitive. He goes, anybody else? Anybody else? Chickens. He's joking. And just last call, last call. And I still didn't raise my hand until the very, very end when I finally, I mustered up the courage. I was like, okay, I feel shame, but I'm not going to let the shame control me. I'm going to sing. So I go, like, I raised my, something told me, it was like, you should whisper, probably go up there and whisper it to him. But the super excited part of me was like, I'm going to sing before I can stop myself. Really, really loud. I want to sing. And oh my gosh, as if it couldn't get any worse, the guide goes, oh, awkward pause. Oh, but we're actually closing the ceremony. It's like winding down.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Even though, it was meant in the most kind-hearted and open-hearted way to me, with all the stories going on in my mind, I felt not just shame, but like crushed, publicly rejected in front of a big group.
Yes.
And that was my entire experience. I went to my room that night and I was just crying, had restless dreams. And then the next day I woke up, I was just still sitting in that muck of energy and sensations. And so I went to walk. The next day I woke up early and I went towards the lake, and I ran into a series of events happened. So I think when you're in the medicine, whether or not you're experiencing it in ceremony or post-ceremony, there's almost no difference. Both worlds kind of just merge into the it's all spirit. So I ran into one of the participants, and he could kind of sense, like, he was like, oh my gosh, like I could feel your energy and how crushed you are, even though you're not saying anything, because it's pretty transparent.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, like he gives me a hug and he says, never dim your light. You're such a light. I hope you can see that. And then the moment he says that, I just start bawling. I just collapsing. It's like, like the child in you just started like crying and pouring things out. And it was the words, back to words. Words were almost like medicine to my soul. And it was a catalyst for me, because after he said that, I, still feeling all the shame, I walked towards the lake. There was a boat on the bank of the lake, sat down next to this like overturned boat, took out my journal, and I just started to write. And the crazy, crazy thing is, the writing turned into the lyrics of a song. A whole entire song. It was like almost like very, like I was possessed. Like I was just kept writing and writing and writing, and then I could hear the melody in my head, and it was really crazy because the plant medicine, or Mother Aya, the gift of the song came after going through the darkness. And that was literally what the whole song was about. I can't sing it, but I asked AI to create a render a version of it so that I had a template. I hummed it and I wrote down the full lyrics, and it gifted a whole song. So now I'm going to learn to sing it.
Oh my gosh.
It's like this, like,
oh, girl, there's so much in everything that you shared. I'm like, what direction do I want to go with this? Because I think that sends an important message. People are so afraid of the shadow, and we label it bad, and we reject it. But there's no way around it, And I used to, what was coming up for me as you were sharing was, I had a similar experience this weekend where I was at this event with some, conscious people, and actually a couple of people who have their own podcast and coaching modality. And, I've watched them in the past before. And I was there with a bunch of people who had gone through their workshop. And one of the things that they shared about the experience was that it's a somatic weekend. So you're like doing somatic work back to back to back to all these somatic exercises, and the processing happens when you leave, right? You leave and then you come back for another weekend, and it's more intense, right? And one of the things that they shared was that you walk across and you're witnessed completely naked.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, yes. And I actually posted something on TikTok yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, about my body. I felt inspired by that experience that I had yesterday, where because I'm, of course, like, something came up in me about walking across the, in front of a bunch of strangers completely naked. And that signaled, like, oh no, not, you have to do it. You have to have this experience, because I have so much shame around my body, and growing up as like an overweight little kid into middle school, high school, and having like loose skin, and having all of these things that I have, like, just not loved. You know what I mean? And but what was coming up yesterday was like, nobody understands, like, a lot of these people that are sharing this information, that had this experience, don't have the body that I have. That I started to go down that, like, shrink into that hole that you were talking about, where it was like I could feel myself in this social environment go and I was like drained and ready to go, and I came home and I got to sift through the shadow, and I got to sit with the pain of this old version of myself that really is so ashamed of her body, that wants to love it so bad, right? And got tearful, and then I got called to like put this vulnerable post on TikTok, and I woke up today and it was like, there's the gnat. I woke up today and I felt like a train hit me, but it was like there was something so admirable about the body that I've been given. There was just this new shift, and like, this body is strength, this body is power, and I'm so excited to explore this shadow work,
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. What a beautiful experience, and I can't wait to hear your song.
Thank you. And thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that too. Something that came up for me as I heard you share is this feeling of, as we're experiencing the shadow, of sometimes feeling that there's something that needs to be done. That energy of, okay, I feel there's something I need to improve, I need to work through, I need to process. And it brought up in me, like, because shame is an interesting thing, right? So when we experience shame, the first instinct is often, I need to run away from this feeling, or I need to transmute this feeling because I'm feeling uncomfortable. It's like this dark, icky thing you just want to slough off. And so the thing that came to mind to me is the pressure that we sometimes place on ourselves to be anywhere than where our feet are planted. And I say that because I think the experience maybe would have been a little bit less like suffering if, as I experienced the shame, there wasn't a part of me that was like, oh, I need to do this. I need to transmute this. I wish I had the courage to raise my hand. Oh no, I missed this opportunity. Kind of like just digging deeper and deeper into the hole. When in reality, we don't really know in our process how something is going to turn out. I think like what's coming up is there's no such thing as the wrong timing, because even the things that we perceive we need to fix or change about ourselves, they're there for a reason. And there's no way to rush getting better, no way to rush transmuting them. And a learning for me too that during that ceremony was coming to terms with, oh yeah, of course my voice is going to be out of tune. This is the first time I've heard my voice. You have to learn how to crawl before you can actually run. And you also don't know who is benefiting or who are tapping into their own light because you were able to be so vulnerable, because all of those things came up about you that you're like, oh, I want to change this about me. And one of the participants, we were sharing the next day, and then she goes, you know what? I'm so glad you sang Out of Tune because it actually gave me the courage to experiment with my voice.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that was the caption of the post that I said. It was like, if we aren't sharing our truth or standing in our truth, we give people permission
Yeah.
when we do, you know? And like, it's just such a beautiful thing. It's such a
The
beautiful
vulnerability and the
Yes.
messiness of you being able to share what walking in front of a group of people naked brought up in you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So anyways, I'm excited to have that experience. I'll have to have you back.
I'll be rooting for you.
Yes. Okay. So let's back it up a little bit
Okay.
because like I said earlier, I've only been in your sacred spaces, and tell the listeners and tell me tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what led you to CAP in the first place.
Yeah. So I started my spiritual journey in 2017 with plant medicines in Peru.
Mm-hmm.
I went and did an ayahuasca ceremony in Peru, and I would say that was probably the biggest catalyst on my journey. And the thing that I noticed, because I think that we don't go through just one experience of awakening. It's like several,
Yes.
It's like a spiral. We go through several loops within that spiral. The thing that I've noticed is that's similar from all the journeys I've been on, whether it's plant medicines, Vipassana, or even CAP, is this theme of heartbreak or pain. Pain has been my biggest catalyst. And it has it's sort of like what's lit the fire under me to seek, and then eventually all the seeking outwards bring you back home to you.
Yes, absolutely. There's this moment, and I don't know when it happened. Maybe you know when it happened for you, but when you do that enough, there's something happens where you're like, there's literally no going back. Like, I will never stop digging. I will never stop going deeper into myself. I will never not face the pain again, you know, because there were moments leading up to my journey, my spiritual journey, where I would do a little bit and then I would get afraid and I would go back, I would revert back, you know, and it was this cycle of like dipping my toes in and then reverting back a little bit. And at some point I just crossed this invisible threshold where it's like, you're never going backward ever again, you know?
Yeah, it becomes everything. So I think at the beginning of, at least even in my spiritual journey, at the very beginning, plant medicines, CAP, meditations, those were things that I went to do to have a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
But then you realize there's actually really not much difference between going to a ceremony to have a spiritual experience and your life itself being the ceremony. Your life itself is spiritual. And so to loop it back a little bit, back in 2017, I was still working at my corporate job. And yeah, it was a series of events. I took a sabbatical post corporate and then went back to corporate. And then I got laid off and then opened a crystal shop. And then
you did?
Yeah. This is back in, I think, 2022.
Okay.
I used to own a crystal shop. And so I was sort of just responding to where life was pulling me. The next idea that felt inspiring, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. I might as well. And yeah, I think my life has been very different from pre-2017 to once I just started to listen to where I was being pulled and then take the leap of faith to, okay, this is where life is pulling me. I'm going to play a little bit and try a little bit.
Yeah.
And I actually only just found CAP in 2023.
Wow. You would never know that by when she's facilitating. There's so much power in this like tiny human. There is so much power and energy, just like, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I see that.
Tell me, so 2017, was there something in your life that was going on? Was it just like a deep yearning or like desire for something deeper, something more? Like what drew you to the plant medicine ceremony?
Yeah, so that year I experienced many deaths, both physically and metaphorically. So it was the same year that my grandpa passed away. My mom and I were actually vacationing in Mexico when we got a call that he had passed away. Like he, I don't know what happened. He just like had a heart failure, and it was it's hard to talk about because it's a blur in my mind. All I remember was like the panic, like what's happening? We don't know. Oh, they're driving this way. What? And then the news said, oh, he's passed. We need to fly back the next day to, to prepare for the funeral and everything. And I think that was the first time in my life where I felt the role of parent and child reversed, where my mom, seeing her so devastated from the death of her dad, she couldn't even plan the funeral. She couldn't write the speech for the, and I had to do all of those things to step into that role of, okay, well, let me take care of the funeral arrangements. Let me write the speech. Like, I don't know what to write. Like, let me write the speech. And it was also the same year where I broke up with my first love after some time together. He was my college sweetheart, and then we broke up that same year. And I guess going back to, pain and suffering sometimes being your teacher, I think at a certain point we reach a point where we stop feeling comfortable. And sometimes if you're listening to the signs early enough, it doesn't have to be something catastrophic like a death or a breakup, because you're, tuning into the signs. But I guess for me, like, I was really stubborn. I wanted to hold on to how life was and didn't want to make any changes until life was like, okay, well, push you on.
We're going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So then you just felt called to the ceremony.
I was seeking. I was searching. There was something that my heart was longing for, and I had this just feeling of like discomfort, or not to say unhappiness, but just restlessness,
Yeah.
Like what else is there to life? What's the meaning and purpose of this? I guess a little bit of existential dread.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And did you have any kind of like spiritual practice leading up to that point? What did that look like for you?
I was just getting started with meditation and yoga, but I wasn't spiritual at all in that sense.
Yeah. Wow, it's so crazy, because when I see you, I'm like, you're just, like you're just so magic, and it just shows you that we're all normal people on this path, and somewhere along the line our soul calls us to something deeper, How old are you, Sam?
I'm 35.
Yes, we're the same age.
Yeah.
Our generation, I just have to say this, our generation has more than ever this deep, deep, deep desire to seek, grow, change. We have been called to break generational trauma and lines and lines and lines of familial baggage, and wounding. And so it's and I didn't really, I don't know, there's always been something in me that felt like there's more to life, that felt like even in my normal jobs, I was just like, there's more. Like, this is not it, and then finding the spiritual realm has been so powerful, to have things like CAP or meditation, yoga, all of these things that take you deeper into all that is.
Yeah, and in many ways, I think it's really, we call it seeking, but really it's a coming home.
Remembrance.
A remembrance. Because looking back at my experience when I was a little kid, I loved Harry Potter. I loved all things magical. I would dream of Harry Potter. I joined Harry Potter trivia contests. I would geek out on Harry Potter. And to think that, oh my gosh, how crazy it is that sort of energy, that love for the mystical, the love for magic, later in life would reveal itself in different ways, whether it's, the chakra system to yoga to, oh my gosh, what is this energy stuff? Is this like magic? What do you mean we access different states of mind during meditation? Like all of these things are just, it's like a remembrance and coming home of stuff that's already innate in all of us.
Yes.
Like I really, really do believe we all have that seed.
Yes.
And the seeking just brings us home to that which we already
Yes. Yes. I was actually going to name this podcast The Sacred Return, but somebody already had it. So we
had crazy synchronicity.
I know. So we had to pivot because you're so right. It is about coming home to yourself. And that was kind of the whole essence of this podcast is like, I have so many magical people in my life, and the ways that they have found or remembered, right? The path to coming home to themselves is so beautiful and needs to be shared, So I too was in love with Harry Potter, like in love. Do you know what house you were in?
Slytherin for sure.
Yes! Gryffindor. Yes. I love it. Yes, you give Slytherin vibes, like the dark mystical.
This thing, it's oh my gosh, you're just making me realize how hilarious this is. I really I probably stereotyped myself as Ravenclaw, but I was in love with Slytherin, and Slytherin, the snake symbol, and then Kundalini.
And here you are, yes, activating Kundalini. In other people.
Connected.
Yes. So on that note, how did you find CAP?
So I found...
And then tell us what it is.
Sure, okay. Yeah. So I found CAP when I was in Mexico. I had taken a class. I was going through another heartbreak period. It's always
a heartbreak, isn't it?
Our partners are our greatest teachers.
Yes. Remind me to circle back to that because I have something I want to share. Yeah.
So I was... in what you could say a healing journey in Mexico when I first experienced the CAP energy. And when I experienced it, the best way that I can describe it is it was the most unfamiliar feeling. Like I've done it before. It felt like coming home, and it felt like the truest, like I could feel it in my whole being. It was like a full bodied, oh my gosh, like this is remembrance. This is familiar. This feels like home. And I connected with the practice in that way. And I started to take more sessions while I was in Tulum. My favorite first facilitator, Blanca. Oh, wow. Her sessions so powerful, so beautiful. They just opened me. Completely opened me.
Yeah.
And that's how I found CAP.
Wow.
So for those of you who don't know, CAP stands for Kundalini Activation Process, and it's an energy transmission of Kundalini life force, which is innate in all of us, and also non-dual awareness. It's a state that most people try to get to after years and years of maybe sitting or meditating in a cave, which is just so innate in the transmission. And all that really is this state of awareness where we are all one. There is no separation between you or me. We're all just one consciousness.
Yes. The last time I took one of your life activation classes was the solar eclipse, right before the solar eclipse. That was such a powerful class. I mean, the energy in that space. And I think that one of the most powerful things was having one male. And I don't know if you remember what he shared, but I carried that with me for days. And
Kylie's partner.
Yes. And he talked about, he just had such a deep respect for the divine feminine, and talked about how he had in situations like that before, being around like powerful, strong women energy, he went inward and kind of shrunk. And he said that he felt like he was just dancing with all of the energy. And it was so beautiful, to have a man who feels so secure in that space.
He held a container, which is what divine masculine is. That energy of, presence, groundedness.
Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. So I've noticed that on your social media, you've been doing a lot of Joe Dispenza work. Tell me what your experience has been like with that, or what's some of your favorite takeaways of like doing his work or meditations.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I think that it's very different from CAP, but it's also kind of like a complementary practice. So with CAP, and I'll just share a little bit more, I guess, for those who don't know.
Yes,
like,
please do.
Rambling on about Kundalini on dual awareness. So in simplest terms, the reason that we work with these energies is because going back to return, it brings us back to our true, authentic self. So when we activate life force and when we experience non-dual states of awareness or oneness, it shifts our consciousness in such a way where a part of us, it expands our consciousness in such a way where a part of us disidentifies with the old belief systems, ego, and we become even more aware of ourselves as divine beings, but don't disconnect from our humanity. So then we can hold both our spirit divine selves and our human selves also as divine. I think that's the sweet spot where we also it brings us back into our center, returns us home into our core, back into what truly brings us joy, so we can live our human life.
Yes,
as divine.
That's a hard thing to do. I don't know about you. Have you ever experienced, like, I go through these phases where I start to float up into the sky and I'm just like way too in that world, right? And I have to bring myself back down and remind myself that I am having a human experience. Just like you're saying, I'm supposed to be down here and experiencing that. And I float away sometimes because that's where I like to live.
Yeah.
You know? And this experience, the human experience, can be so hard sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you experience that where you get like swifted away in that?
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of us seek, right? And a lot of us use these practices as anchors to remind us, hey, like, we're also that. We are this, but we are also that, because it is hard to be human. As humans, we signed up to experience the full spectrum of emotions. And as humans, we also experience resistance to those emotions, which sometimes creates, our experience of suffering. So yes, it's completely understandable, and I too experience it where I just want to stay in those bliss states. I want to stay here. But and that's why it's like so important to experience that and let ourselves be touched by that, but also dive back more fully in life and let life truly touch us, right? Because we are experiencing the human experience. We can't have a human experience without letting life fully touch the depths of our hearts, without cracking our hearts open. And so I'm going to pivot to Joe Dispenza. Saying back to Joe Dispenza, while CAP is very much a surrendered practice where you allow the transmission to work through your system and you just surrender to whatever comes up, the movement, the thoughts, the sensations, Joe Dispenza takes you to that same place, but in a different way. It feels empowering because you are consciously meditating, you're consciously choosing to shift from choosing to let go of the story. And for me, what it gave me was this feeling of empowerment that I can create my own story. And I can choose my path, my adventure on Earth plane.
The quantum leaping.
Timeline shifting.
There's so many terms for it now. It's like, I feel like so many of us, I mean, we really are on a universal jump, moving from 3D to 4D. And so many people are being drawn to this work, which is so beautiful and powerful. But yeah, what you were saying earlier reminded me of, do you know Michael Singer?
Yes, A Tethered Soul.
Yes. I read his book called it's his life story. I don't know if you've read it. I'm drawing a blank on it now. It's over on the shelf. But anyways, if you haven't read it, it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's just his story. It's like pretty easy read, but he talks about the part of his journey where he found deep meditation and he became obsessed with it. And he moved out into the middle of nowhere and built this little log cabin, and he just wanted to be alone. And he kept having these experiences where people would find him and then want to like be around him and build, you know, this community with him. And he kept resisting that. And he was like, it's messing up my like my bliss state, right? And he was just so obsessed. And what all of his work says is how much we resist the flow of life, right? The flow of life was bringing him to this massive community to become a spiritual teacher, and he couldn't do that in the forest by himself. You know, he had to learn how to anchor into both. Yeah. So I love that. It's so true, and such a good reminder for me, because I'm constantly doing that, and I think that is the work, right? It's like the exploration of remembrance and like coming home to yourself, and simultaneously like integrating that into
back into community.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. So what was a turning point in your life that forever changed how you see yourself?
I would say probably CAP, and maybe each and every plant medicine journey and Joe Dispenza.
All the things. So many different turning points. I know it's such a hard question.
But okay, I think I actually have a response to that.
Yeah.
A big turning point in my life, and probably one of the biggest turning points, comes down to the realization that I am safe. So there's been several glimpses of that I've experienced throughout the years. One of the most profound ones was when I was in Vipassana, and I remember it being the last day, and it was like it was so silly because it was the tiniest thing. You know, after 10 days so Vipassana is like a silent meditation retreat where you don't read, you don't write, and you don't speak. So it's very internal, all 10 days.
Wow.
And even when you're passing by, you know, people, you try to keep your energy internal so you don't make eye contact.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Internal, and you meditate. That's all you do for those 10 days. And so I spent 10 days of that. And I remember on the very last day, when we could finally have our phones back, there was something that happened. I think I looked at a message and I felt so devastated because it triggered me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did this whole 10 days of like silent meditation, and I'm still in my, you know, ego mind in the same place. I'm still freaking triggered by the same exact thing. After 10 days, like, you know, and like there were several realizations happening. There was the ego mind feeling crushed and devastated. And then there was another part of me that was like, this pretty much judging where I was at, judging the human in me that was still triggered despite going through that whole experience. And then the sadness, you know, of, oh, like, have I really changed? Like, what the doubts that came through. And the crazy thing that happened where we did one last meditation, and I remember very distinctly, we'd gathered in the meditation hall, and so we prepared for meditation, closed on our eyes, and it was a feeling that descended on me. It was almost like, it felt really trippy because it was like this sudden sense of peace and calm that felt like a balm to the suffering that I was experiencing, the excruciating suffering of my ego measuring myself up against where I wanted to be versus me, oh, I'm still triggered, you know, this is pointless, I'm doing this work. And the sense of peace just descended. And it was a stillness of being simultaneously aware of me being still, and also each and every single person in that space who chose to just go through the experience of 10 days of silence, and the universality of the suffering that we all share, and how we're all trying to, in some way, you know, in some way to just feel better. The human in us just wants to feel better. And this feeling of, it's crazy because it landed so like this like truth that, oh wow, we're all experiencing suffering, and it's okay. It's part of life. We are safe.
Yes.
It's not these negative emotions aren't something that we need to heal or transcend. Of course, you will get hurt if you feel rejected and disappointed. Of course, you will feel sad. Of course, you will feel angry if you get a triggered text.
Yeah.
It's not a measure of how spiritual, we are, and just having that realization in the landing of, okay, this is normal part of the human experience. I am safe.
Yeah.
And that's theme 1. And then I've also had other experiences in life where things all fell apart. The structures that I thought would hold me in my darkest moments, whether that's relationship, job, the things that I felt I need, this makes me feel secure. I feel secure with this relationship. I feel secure with my job. This is certain. This is my safety net. This is, and having those structures just collapse. And when they collapse and you're not yet, becoming that next version of you're just in a state of the void and emptiness where everything's gone. And then sitting in that space and realizing, if you're in the void and everything around you is collapsing, who do you turn to? And you just realize, okay, well, it's all you.
Yes.
It's all you. And you're safe because it is all you.
Yes. Oh, there's so much power in that. And it's so beautiful that you said that. That's how I ended the message yesterday on TikTok, is I said, nobody's coming to save you. Like, it's you. It's you. You have to learn how to parent yourself. You have to learn how to become your own safety net, and the truth is when you look back on your life, I've never been left astray. Like, I am always taken care of, the divine, but it's so much more empowering to know that you have you too, that while the creator gives me power, like, I also have so much power and to hold a safe container to experience life and all that it brings,
And you are the creator.
Yes.
So it's coming in contact with the part of you that is the creator, so that if everything else around you falls apart, you have you to turn to. You are your source of safety.
And it's such a, when we live in a world that tells us that everything outside of you will make you feel better, if you just get the right partner, if you just get the right job, if you just get the right opportunity, everything will be okay. And it's not ever the answer. It might feel good for a moment, but until you connect with yourself and do the internal work yourself, like,
it's the energy of reaching. And in fact, when you reach, that's a big burden to also put on the world and another person.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, girl. Oh, this has been so beautiful. How would you describe this chapter of your life that you're in currently?
I would say this chapter feels like a coming into being. Literally like a coming home, like return home. I know we keep coming back to that scene, but that's what it feels like. It's like almost I get this, there have been chapters that have felt like chapters of change, chapters of being lost, chapters with more questions than answers. This chapter feels like, there's still a lot of questions. I'm still confused. I still don't know where life is heading, but an okayness with not knowing.
Yes.
Because there's so much more trust that whatever does happen, I trust myself to welcome it with open arms, or to handle whatever it is. And it feels like coming into my skin and experiencing a deeper sense of self and authenticity.
So beautiful. There's so much freedom in stepping into that power, and I think it's beautiful because you and I are kind of on the similar journey of like, at least I think you've been off of social media and have just recently returned. Is that correct?
Yeah. And a period of
yes, of like being, and at first for me it felt like, oh God, it felt like really exposing. I felt a lot of negative feelings about it, and but it's what I was called to do. And so just getting on and doing this, or recording little snippets on TikTok, and just being like, whatever. I don't care who sees it or doesn't. Like, it's going to reach whoever it's supposed to, even if that's 2 people, is so powerful. And just standing in your, I don't need that. Like, I am secure and okay no matter what. I'm whole.
Yeah. And you're doing it for you.
Yes.
It's your self-expression.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I felt last night. It was like I've had moments where I feel like I'm starting to get choked up and feeling really emotional. And I have used in the past social media as an outlet just to like put myself out there in a very vulnerable way. And I immediately feel freedom from whatever it is that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, like I'm scared to post this. And then the moment I say, forget it, I don't care, it's like,
it's a way of transmuting it.
Yes.
What comes to mind to me is this idea of all of the things we experience, even that sensation of choked upness, is just an energy.
Yeah.
You can cry it out, you can dance, you can move your body, but what is your soul wanting to draw out, from within you? And I think with you, what comes to mind is like storytelling.
Yes.
Just sharing your essence.
Yes.
And being creative about it and channeling that, whether through words, through story, through play, through art.
Yeah. Yes, girl. So good. So if you're in the Austin area and you want people want to find you, tell them where they can go to find you to participate in CAP.
Yeah, so I teach weekly classes at Dharma Yoga, and the best way that you can reach me or find out about upcoming classes is through my Instagram at WakeUpJustBe.
Yes.
You can just reach out, add me, and send me a message.
Yes, love that. So if you could leave our listeners with one truth to carry with them as they walk into their own returning home or becoming, what would you share?
What comes to mind to me is actually the title of the song I wrote, which is "Shine your light into the darkness. You're a light upon the darkness. Keep being you. Keep dreaming. Keep loving. And keep creating. Let it be messy. Let it be real."
I love that, Sam. It has been such an honor to just share space with you and have a conversation with you. You're just such a wealth of beautiful knowledge, and I look forward to sharing that with whoever sees it. Thank you for your time. May the cord that binds us to one another and to Source remind you that you are never alone, always guided, and always home. Until next time.